The Innovate project is a project in the southwest of London to trial and research IoT projects across 5 boroughs, which is essentially the southwest corner of London. It's funded by City of London, which is a central London authority, and we have £4 million over the 3.5-year period to undertake these projects. The project was originally looking at ways to generate economic growth within the boroughs and support local businesses. But when COVID came along, we extended that to include the impact of COVID. And also with the climate emergency that was declared in most of London, we've now extended it to look at climate and green technology. The project started in 2018 originally in terms of the bidding phase, and it's now due to finish in March of next year. We have implemented nearly 40 use cases, and we have also implemented a data platform from Hitachi Solutions and from Microsoft, with nearly 2,000 sensors looking after the well-being of 1.6 million residents, businesses, and other agencies. The whole project is about getting the right data, and it's about finding the right things to real-world solutions. We didn't start off with the technology. We didn't start off with a particular type of sensor. We started off with problems that the councils were facing and looked for solutions that would provide data to help meet those problems and solve them. As I said before, we have over 40 different use cases, so 40 different problems that we're looking at the moment. They vary from social care, looking after elderly or vulnerable residents, through to environmental projects that are out in the street. So, for example, we are monitoring flood hotspots, so areas in the borough that tend to flood if we have heavy rainfall. We have sensors there that are monitoring the rainfall in the street drains, and if it gets to a certain level, it's sending a warning out that enables us to proactively ensure that those drains are clear and prevent the flooding. We're also in the area of social care monitoring some of our vulnerable residents. So we are monitoring temperature and humidity in their kitchens. And what that's doing is that is providing us with early warning in the event that they may be ill, because that means they are less likely to cook for themselves or make hot drinks. Or if there's no activity at all, may give us a warning that they have had a fall or they are seriously ill and unable to get out of bed. And in fact, since that has been in place in February 2021, we have saved 4 residents' lives because they have fallen over, broken bones, unable to summon help. And the AI that is monitoring this information has alerted our officers, and we've been able to go there and call the emergency services and get the ambulance in. In addition, that has helped us in terms of unintended benefits with that, because we are seeing the temperature within our residents' homes. We've asked the AI when we had the heat wave to monitor and give us alerts if the temperature inside somebody's home went too high. And in the previous winter, if the temperature went too low, we could have a conversation with them about whether they were having trouble with their heating bills, etc., and whether there was help that we could put in place. The whole point of this project was to learn how to do IoT projects, learn when IoT projects work and when they don't work, learn what is the problem with interpreting the data, and how our councils can best use the data that's produced. And we have had a university in the UK, the University of Essex, as a partner throughout this project. And they have been helping us evaluate each of those use cases. So some of those use cases haven't worked because the sensors, for example, weren't up to it. We've had sensors in some of our parks that have been vandalized and broken, and that use case we've decided not to carry on with as a result. But many of the others have proven their worth. So we've talked about saving lives. That was in a pilot of 150 residences. That's been extended now to the full 500. And many of the other sensors in terms of counters, counting, etc., have been extended. We're now looking in terms of the data platform and seeing whether we can extend the data platform from just monitoring and providing alerts in terms of the data to perhaps modeling and being predictive, using the data that we've already got to potentially model the impacts of what might happen in the event that we change public policy. And that's the area, one of the areas we're looking at next. The whole way through this, I should say, because we're talking about sensitive data, we have been very, very careful in terms of the data that we collect. We only collect personal data for a specific use, and we only collect that personal data if there has been explicit consent given by the individual and they understand the usage that we're putting it to. So, for example, when I mentioned that we were tracking vehicles, vehicle journeys, we do that using edge process. So the license plates on the vehicles are collected by the sensor. They're encrypted there on the edge, and only that encrypted data is passed back. And the hash code that's used to encrypt is changed every 24 hours. So we have no way of knowing who the individual vehicle is or tracking individual vehicles across our borough. We've made that very clear, and we will have to continue that confidentiality if we are going to progress the platform further into the area of social care and tech-enabled care. So the next steps for us is very much making that journey and seeing if we can take the data that we're already collecting and use it to better effect.